prepare yourself to the trending topic of the day.
Well, according to the U.S. Sun, the latest installment of the franchise Mission Impossible 7 has already been hit with a host of COVID-related delays as cast and crew travel around Europe. In October, the Top Gun actor Tom Cruise held crisis talks with the film's director for, wow, the film's director, Christopher McQuarrie, which in Hollywood, if you're a director named Christopher, you are a director. Well, in fact, Cruise and McQuarrie held talks days after 12 people on set in Italy were said to have tested positive for COVID. Up to 150 extras were told not to come in to shoot scenes in Venice as health chiefs traced contacts of those who had tested positive. After returning to the UK 2 weeks ago, Cruise has personally tried to ensure there are no more delays. He's been pictured wearing a mask on set and keeps a constant eye out for rule breakers. He was even recorded giving what this outlet will label a rousing pep talk. We have the audio. Let's talk about this on the other side. Brace yourself.
We are the gold standard. You're back there in Hollywood making movies right now because of us. Because they believe in us and what we're doing. I'm on the phone with every studio at night. Insurance companies. Producers. And they're looking at us and using us to make their movies. We are creating thousands of jobs, you I don't ever want to see it again. Ever. And if you don't do it, you're fired. And I see you do it again, you're gone. And anyone on this crew does it. That's it. And you too. And you too. And you. If you ever do it again. That's it.
Oh, I think I cut it off a little too early, but that was based. I mean, you guys have seen it so many times. I thought, see, the problem with the audio is that I could not hear it. I was trying to remember where it ended, so I know I definitely cut it off too soon. But Amy, I was hoping that I could get the sound in for you because you read what he said. But yes. You never felt, and I was trying to send the link
as
to
a person, honestly, I fear being yelled at enough that it might be good. Like even secondhand yelling. I'm like, I didn't do it. I was far away.
It was pretty good. I mean, I thought it was going to be one of those situations where it was like, oh, Tom, you messed up, man. Like this was going to be like, the rich elite guy, the big boss man, yelling at. But his beef was actually legit. I mean, the movie was delayed numerous of times. These delays are costing people, their jobs and just for moving forward. And he was upset about just for the industry. I mean, the industry's holding on by a thread, and these delays is what's my favorite part of the of his rant was you're going to cost not only for yourself to possibly get fired, but you're going to cost whoever else was in the room for him to be fired, or maybe him and that guy has food to put on the table and a kid to put through college and things like that. So he wasn't just talking about my damn movie needs to make millions of dollars and you're screwing that up. He's like, that guy has kids and that guy has kids. He was going completely off on these guys, and I could just imagine these guys just sinking their heads. One guy's reaching in for this phone to record it. I don't know what the point was. Was he trying to embarrass Tom by making it public, or make him more popular? Because I think the latter was what happened. People so far are agreeing with him overall. You've read what he said, right? Base. What do you think so far?
I mean, I agree. I'm sure there are people who do disagree with it. And I feel like I've even seen a lot of people go, I'm not a Tom Cruise fan, but I agree with what he said. Mm-hmm. And I think you're absolutely right that a big part of the difference there was not that he was like, you're making this harder for me. It was, people are counting on us. We're trying to make jobs. We're trying, basically, Hollywood's been struggling, and they are one of the very few. I feel like there is a bit of a weight on Hollywood too, as let's be honest, a pretty non-essential industry that has gotten a lot of wiggle room.
Right.
So I'm sure seeing that sort of flouted like that is maddening. And I think overall what I just saw was people both in the industry and not in the industry. And again, I'm sure there are circles where the sentiment was different. Yeah. But in a lot of my circles, I was just seeing people kind of going, honestly, I wanted to say that to someone in my life for a second, something comparable. I saw someone tweet like, can I just have this like blasting in the grocery store? Like, I think there's been a lot of frustration, and it sort of felt like a bit of a release of like, someone finally got like the appropriate degree of mad for people who aren't taking this seriously and are still getting to go and work and are still, and are risking the production of this giant, millions upon millions of dollars budget movie. So I agree with him. Yeah. I think again, I don't like being yelled at, but I completely understand his anger.
Right. In a situation where they were told before, and the production was suspended before because of violations of protocol. So of course, I mean, they're not. I mean, they're paid to do a job. What you do affects everyone else, not just yourself. And it's it's not safe. Maybe if whether or not the people that were violating or not taking it seriously don't believe in whatever they don't believe, that doesn't matter. You agreed. Like Sean, the other originals of the show, who. The reason why you haven't seen him lately because he works a lot, but where he works, he has to wear a mask. He hates wearing a mask. He hates it. But he's like, I got to do what I got to do. I'm not going to go into work and not wear it. Whether he likes it or not, or whether he believes in it or not, it doesn't matter. He's getting a paycheck. He agreed, and he's going to do it. It's the only thing that would make this better is if I wonder if Tom was wearing that mask while he was yelling. It was like almost like a Bane.
A little bit of like Bane.
A Bane situation. I was bored in the darkness, and you better wear your fucking mask or else. I can only imagine what Tom was probably feeling in that moment, like a real superhero, like a ninja. Look at with those glasses on and whatnot.
It's intimidating, honestly. The mask and glasses gets very Invisible Man very fast. It's a little scary.
It's a good look. And I'm wondering if...
and I agree. And at the end of the day, you want to talk about it like that. And it's a great point. If people were, not doing safety checks for stunts.
Right.
Get yelled at too.
Exactly.
It's safety.
Insurance would be...
Workplace safety.
Yeah.
We asked you guys in the community... we threw it out there with all of the recent shutdown and risk to cast and production. Was Tom Cruise justified in the manner he spoke to his crew for violating protocol? 64% said yes, as the producer, it was necessary. 36% said no, it wasn't necessary. I would be curious to know how many of the no's, just because of the way the question was phrased. Mm-hmm. Because I could see an argument for it needed to be said. It didn't need to be said like that.
Right.
I understand where the anger is coming from. I could see that argument.
But if you go, I know I framed it in a particular way. But if you dive deep in a little bit, you'll know that it wasn't the guys that he was probably talking to. It wasn't their first time, and he says just as much when he's yelling at him. He says, at one point, he's like, I'll listen to your argument. I will still listen. Even though if I catch you again, I'll pull you to the side and I'll listen to it. And if you don't, and if I can't agree with your logic, you're gone. That's fair. I mean, they're lucky that he just didn't say, because he could have just fired him right there on the spot. He was still, even though he was yelling at him, nobody, like you said, nobody likes to be yelled at. I'm a grown ass man. You're going to talk to me like that. But
I will cry immediately. Please don't.
He also could have fired them on the spot because
which I think honestly would have been more effective.
Yeah.
Like I did see someone on Twitter saying like, yelling's all well and good, but you want to see, a crew act correctly. Just have the last person who didn't disappear. Just the next day someone else is in their spot. Like that's how you get people paying attention to the protocol.
He reminds me of this sketch that I've always wanted to do. Maybe I can get Eric to help me out with it. Or wearing like a Bane mask. I've always imagined Bane being defeated by Batman and then being rehabilitated in prison and taking a job in Wayne Enterprises with human resources. So the Bane of human resources, like, so you imagine like regular Joe just sitting down in front of Bane at a desk. He's got a suit and tie on and that mask. He's like, it's come to our attention that you've sent inappropriate emails to Veronica. What?
Well, now we don't need to make the sketch.
I mean, it's gonna happen. T3, we're patent pending. It's happening. That's gonna be.
I do have one quick question. Was Tom Cruise mad because they weren't following the Ghost Protocol?
I thought of that tweet too, and I was like, we're better than that.
Wow, what a sick burn on my joke. I already decided that joke was trash, but thanks for trying. Move on. Next topic. We're done.
Victor, was that joke trash or not? No. All right, guys, let us know what you guys think. Put it in the box below and tell us more of your thoughts on Tom Bane Cruz. If what you thought about his whole rant, and if you were for it or against it, and we'll talk about it more probably on We Got Your Mail. All right, so what's